Hello again, I'm Blunty, and that little purpley fella is the new Ricoh PX. As you may have already guessed by looking at it, it's a compact point-and-shoot camera which, as useful as they are, if I'm honest, are usually fairly unremarkable gadgets. But this one has a secret. The standard bullet points don't do much to give away the game. It'll shoot stills at 16 megapixels, it's got 5 times optical zoom and up to 10 times with some digital trickery. It's got stabilisation to help with shaky hands, it's got autofocus that can track a moving object, it's got HDMI out and will even suck in 720p video for you. It's all pretty standard stuff by today's standards, right? In fact, more and more we're seeing exactly this kind of feature set on our phones, and the trusty old pocket-sized shooters like this are being pushed aside these days because many of us think our phones are good enough for the snapshots. And sometimes they are, but how about that secret that makes the PX worth a look and a churn through the old Blunty review machine? Well, the Ricoh PX is built for a life full of adventures. Proper adventures. Adventures that would brutally murder your precious camera phone 5 times before you said, whoops! Because while it might not look like it on first glance, being all smooth lines and pocket-sized, the PX is built tonka tough. For a start, it's obviously shockproof, built to easily withstand a drop from 1.5 meters, or your average eye level, which is how most people may accidentally drop a camera. I, of course, had to push the limits a little bit further, all in the name of testing and science, you understand. It's sealed against dust and debris too, so all this fine red outback sand can't get in and ruin your day. It's also waterproof, so what crud that does collect on the outside while you're taking very good care of your camera equipment can be washed off with a quick run under the tap or a dunk in a bucket. They'll even operate completely underwater. In fact, you'll be able to dive down up to 3 meters and still snap a shot of a passing trout without any concern. All the buttons and menus and dials are pretty familiar territory to anyone who's seen a camera before. The layout and operation of the menus is all nice and simple and straightforward and sensible. It even offers up a little more control than you might be used to seeing on a point and shoot, including being able to set exposure compensation. Both the flash and the movie mode get their own quick access dedicated buttons too, so that's all nice and quick and easy. Startup time is nice and quick too, going from completely off to ready to shoot in about 1.5 seconds. It's a very fuss-free camera, but let's take a look at how it actually performs when it comes to taking a photo. All the shots you see in this video are completely unedited, pulled right off the SD memory card and right into this video. Overall, I was very pleased with the results. They were nice and sharp, the focus was quick, and there was minimal shutter lag. The colours all came out nice and rich while still feeling natural. There is a slight softening at the corners of the frame, but that's hardly unusual for a camera of this type. The video mode is not very impressive. Sure, it's 720p and it keeps a nice fluid 30 frames per second, but frankly the video looks grainy and nothing I'd be publishing outside of a review. It's there for you to capture something that's better set in video than in stills, but don't expect much. The stills, though, made me much happier, especially when I got them off the camera and looked at them properly on the computer. Now, on occasion, in some conditions, it had a slight tendency to overexpose, and once or twice the autofocus misbehaved just a little bit, and the screen on the back, while not very impressive by any standards, well, in fact the screen is pretty ordinary if I'm to be honest about it, but it is good enough to be able to tell when you need to take another shot because it accidentally overexposed or that focus missed. It doesn't happen often, but it does happen. And that screen, as ordinary as it is, did remain perfectly viewable in any and all conditions I tested it in, and that includes the unbelievably harsh midday sun of a cloudless outback day. And if it can put up with that, I don't think you'll have any problem anywhere in the world. There's even a few built-in creative filter thingies like miniaturize and black and white and soft focus, toy camera, all that kind of stuff. So you get some interesting effects done in camera to quickly enhance the shot you're trying to capture. Usually not my cup of tea, but I have to admit I'm starting to use these built-in effects more and more on recent cameras because they're getting a lot better. Overall, I thought it did a damn fine job of sucking in some nice looking photos. Now, don't get me wrong, this is still a compact point and shoot, so it's never going to spit out images that look anything like the ones from the bigger, fancier configurations higher up on the evolutionary ladder of cameras, with interchangeable lenses and big delicate sensors and the like. But people who buy cameras like the Ricoh PX buy them because they're super light, they're super compact, they can be thrown into a pocket or a bag, you'll never notice you were carrying it. In fact, I accidentally sat on my review unit several times, as I'd forgot I slipped it into my back pocket. But even my meaty man bottom didn't do it any harm at all. As you can see, it's built super tough. What I'm getting at is this. The type of people who buy a camera like this aren't looking for shots that belong on the cover of a Time magazine. They just want a good shot to freeze the memory of their adventures. They don't want to have to worry about dropping it in the mud or having it shatter into a bazillion heartbreaking pieces as it accidentally clatters down the side of a rock face. They want something simple, reliable, tough, something that can just get the job done without getting in the way. And that's what this little PX is. You can even customize it a little bit to suit your tastes with a rubbery cover which not only lets you pick and choose a colour but offers a bit more grip, and if you're not quite as careful as me, it'll also help protect the finish from getting all scratched up as you kick it down a pile of rocks. Twice, because you forgot to roll the camera on the first time. Thanks for watching, I'm Blunty, and I'll catch you next time.